Yo, 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 and welcome back to Creeps and Crimes
Podcast.
I'm Taylar.
I'm Morgan. Happy Thursday and happy episode 271.
271, our Morgie is sick.
I am sick today.
She got the Thanksgiving cold.
Boo.
Boo.
Honestly, it's really bad. It's
tomato.
tragic because Aaron and I are both sick.
No,
It's
no,
so
no, that's a word.
It's so bad. I was
know.
being such a baby last night. I was like, I need Panera.
You do. When you're sick, that's like...
He's like, I don't want it. I need it too. And I'm like, well, then DoorDash it.
They get it right here, right now.
And he's like, I don't like Panera. And I'm like, and I need Chick-fil-A chicken tortilla soup. And that's what I got.
I love Chick-fil-A soups.
Yeah, I got a big bowl, so I actually have a good chunk left for tonight.
Good,
because
that's
I
gonna
couldn't
be
really
nice.
eat it all.
You should get yourself
But yeah,
some
just a
Panera.
nasty, gnarly cold.
Yeah.
I have, like, I can feel the sinus pressure behind my fucking eyebrows and eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's annoying. Can't swallow. Feels like there's shards of glass down my throat.
That is the worst part.
And Aaron, he started getting sick about a day before me, so he's got a pretty nasty cough. So I'm really trying to avoid that.
That's coming in. Well, good news for everyone is that this is our only time recording this week.
Yay!
Yay! So that way Morgan can heal and get back to normal, and then we can pick up next week. And a lot of next week is like pre-recording for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because this time of the year is the best time of the year.
That's right.
It is the most
love
wonderful
it.
time of the fucking year.
It's the most
wonderful time of the year, especially when you own your own business.
And you do 2 weeks worth of pre-record.
Yes. So we are going to next week be doing TBB. So next week, be on the lookout for your questions of the week. If you're always like, why the fuck can I never get on the questions of the week? This is your opportunity.
This is it right here.
And also that means you have a 2-week countdown before we record the creepy account.
Yes.
It'll be done like the week before Christmas. So something crazy. Well, I guess we'll ask you this first. How was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was good.
Good.
Snowy, cold.
Snowy.
Got my hair done. You can't really tell
Oh,
right
it
now.
looks
It's
so
a little
good.
greasy, but it's like got this little tint of like
She did like a
maroon.
dark cherry cola, and I love it. I really love it.
Me too. It's
I
my,
love that you did something to your hair. Like you
my
never do
favorite
something
yet.
crazy. Yeah,
It's
you
my
never
favorite
go
yet
crazy.
for sure. I'm
It's so
definitely
good. Maddie
loving
did a
it.
great job.
I'm really curious to see how it'll look after a wash.
It'll look good.
Yeah.
But like when I had
scared
my
to
hair
wash
that
it.
color, I had to not wash it for as long as possible because
Well, I can go pretty long.
yeah,
too.
you can go way longer than me. But like I would say probably about a month, and I
just
have
worried
to,
it'll go orangey.
it won't go orangey. It just mine just went down to like the base brown, and then I guess I did have a little bit of copper in it. What my hair looked like in our season 5 video and photo shoot was the diluted version of what you have right now.
Yeah.
And I still liked it a lot. I mean, it was a little orangey, but it was like a good copper brown because you saw that deep brown.
Well, good thing I'll be back in 3 weeks if I need a little gloss.
Yeah, a little gloss on top, a little extra cherry cola gloss on it. Mine was good. It was like a really fun Thanksgiving.
Good.
For me, which y'all know, like, specifically Patreon, like I talked a lot about how nervous I was. We had a good time. I went to my 6-week appointment checkup with all my like OB and the maternal fetal medicine doctor that was with us when I delivered Jackie. And I got great news from that, like just saying that I'm good. Like everything's fine. We know what to do now. There's nothing crazy. Like all your test results came back good. So that was really nice to hear. And so that set that was like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. That set the day before Thanksgiving set me up to have like a really good mindset and like energy about me. So I was good. I literally, this is a record. I don't think I've cried for a week. I think it's been a week.
What?
I know.
No way.
Yeah, it's been a week. Had a good Thanksgiving, good appointment, but something fucking crazy happened to me today. And normally I would call 911 in this situation.
Oh, shit.
But things are so just odd that were happening that I was like, I think the police already know about this.
I'm scared.
I know, and I might be like a victim of the bystander effect, and normally I never am. Normally I just call just in case. But anyways, so I had to go to Walgreens this morning. For what reason? Oh, because I've been out of hairspray for literally a week and a half, and there's no sense of me putting heat on my hair until I have hairspray, because when it's cold like this and it's humid because it's been raining, I literally will curl my hair, and the second I curl it and walk out, it's dropped and is Irish curled out. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just not even gonna fucking touch my hair. So I was gonna do my hair for this recording. As you can tell if you're watching on YouTube, I didn't because of what happened at Walgreens. So I told Logan I only had one car because Nikki's been borrowing my car. Her car's been broken. She just brought it back today. But I told Logan, I was like, look, I'm gonna drive a truck and I'm gonna go to Walgreens and I'm gonna get me some hairspray and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna curl my hair. I get in the car, I drive over to Walgreens. This Walgreens is like literally a 2-minute drive from my house. I go over to this Walgreens and this area, sketchy, to say the very least. So not a great area. A lot of crime happens over there. A lot of petty crime, you know? So what was that? Your water bottle. I was like,
Scared
did you just
too.
toot? Did you toot
Honestly,
on
I
mic?
wouldn't even be surprised.
She's had 2 teas today. So I literally was like, are you okay? Or are we taking time bomb?
I'm dying. I can't. I'm like also holding my breath because
I go over there. I'm by myself. Again, I'm in Logan's truck. Logan drives like a big fucking truck and it's really like got super tinted windows. So I drive it. I fucking hate driving this truck. So I go over there and the way that this like Walgreens is set up is like pretty fucking catty cornered and weird. But anyways, I park like across the parking lot from the entrance directly in front of the door. And the second I walk in, I watch this guy who is standing in front of the CeraVe face wash with 2 other guys turn around and immediately look at me. I smile. I'm thinking maybe he's thinking someone else is going to be walking in.
he recognizes me.
Right. I'm like, well, maybe he's like waiting on someone to come back from the car. I don't know. I walk all the way to the back. I get my hairspray and I couldn't get to the fucking hairspray I wanted because there was a whole ass family with kids taking every shampoo and conditioner off the shelf.
Oh my
And I was like, I don't even want to
God.
fuck with that. So I got my backup hairspray that I'm okay with. It's not my fave though. But I just genuinely had no fucking time to play around with this. I was like, my curler's on. I need to go. So I grabbed this fucking hairspray. I walk to the front and I get in line. And when I get in line, there's only one lady working. This guy's card declines. So she's like working with him to get this fixed. And she calls over and she's like, hey, there's another man in front of me. He's like a papal, like literally looks like a construction worker papal. And he's getting like, I'm not shitting you, 15 fucking cans of Campbell's chicken noodle soup. So
Speaking of, that was in the news. Campbell's chicken soup or Campbell's soup. The CEO had like leak text or leak conversation about how they would never ever feed their family what's in Campbell's, how it's all processed and fake.
yeah, of course
meat
this
and
fucking
stuff.
process. Like,
And like it was just what was really like
how
condescending and like terrible. of,
low
like,
blow for your own company.
yeah.
Wild. Anyways, so it's me behind this guy, and then behind me is this shorter man, like up on my fucking dick. And I was already feeling really uneasy about that guy that when I first walked in, because when I walked away from him to go back to get the hairspray, his eyes never came off of me.
I hate that.
And I felt like, you know, when you get that urge, like you're walking up the stairs and you need to run, that's like what I was feeling internally.
I hate that.
So that's why I went back there. I didn't even fuck around to try and go get my favorite hairspray. I just grabbed that one and got to the front. So now there's this other guy who's like right up on my fucking dick. We're in this line. They finally get a second cashier up there. They check out Papaw with his 13,000 different Campbell's chicken noodle soups. And then it's my turn to go. But in the time that this guy's up on my dick and this guy's checking out, I start realizing that my purse, and I have my big purse, that big tote. I left it unzipped because I just grabbed it, walked out of the house, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, this guy's up on my deck. He could literally reach in my fucking purse and grab anything. And what's on top of my purse is our camera because I had taken it down for Thanksgiving. Didn't use it once. But I'm thinking, oh God, our fucking camera's there. So I turned myself to like face the wall so my purse is away from him because I didn't want to be a dick and like zip it up in front of him, you know, whatever. But as I'm doing this, I realize that he's looking past me. So I track his line of sight, and guess who he's looking at?
That guy.
The fucking guy. And this guy was in a black hoodie, a black hat, tucked into dark wash blue jeans with a cream belt on, and he's got black tennis shoes on. And I'm like, I'm not the only one feeling bad vibes from this guy.
Right.
So I'm wondering why this guy behind me is looking at creepy guy. Oh, well, because that motherfucker's scanning me to the door. He keeps looking back and forth. So I get up to check out. I give her my hairspray. She's like, do you want to type in your number? I'm like, fuck no. I pay for it with my phone. I'm like, I don't need a receipt. And I am literally, Morgan, running to the front door. Like, I am walking as fast as I can. And I had zipped up my purse whenever I had it on the counter to pay. I got my keys out of my purse. So I'm fucking going straight for the door. And there's 2 doors. And if you're coming in, you go on the left. And if you're going out, you go out on the left, because that's fucking the way we do it.
Right.
So I'm about to walk out, and this woman who's probably like 32, and she's got like an 8-year-old daughter with her. They're not holding hands. They walk in the wrong door. So now I'm face to face with this woman and her child. So I step out of the way. I'm like, so sorry. I watch her look behind me, grab her daughter's hand and say, no, we have to go. Turn around and Morgan, run through the fucking parking lot, get in her car. So when she starts running, I'm running behind her.
What the fuck?
Yes. I'm fucking sprinting because you know who's behind me? Oh, creepy guy. I am fucking sprinting out the front door across the parking lot, which again, my car is direct. I had backed in. Fucking G shit.
Hell yeah.
So there's a car that like a big box truck that went past me. Like I almost got hit by it but I wasn't fucking stopping. And so by the time the box car passes the entrance and I'm in the truck now with the doors locked and the truck on, again, tinted windows, when that truck passes me, guess who's standing out on the fucking sidewalk in front of my car? The creepy guy. And he's squinting and looking into every car in the parking lot. I'm assuming looking for either me or that girl.
Yeah.
And her daughter. I throw it in drive, and as I'm about to go, guess who comes? Papa with his 13,000 chicken noodle soups, and he's in this big F-150. So I'm like, I'm getting behind Papa, and I'm staying behind Papa, because one thing about Papa, I know that motherfucker's got a gun.
100%.
So I'm sticking like glue to Papa's truck. So I get out Papa's truck, and guess who cuts off Papa? Oh, girl and her daughter. They're peeling out of the fucking Walgreens. So there's this like side exit that goes, and there's like a red light in a road that sits there. Me and Papa are trying to get out. Girl cuts us off. I'm like, go queen, run, because I don't know what the fuck that was about. She gets out. As Papa's about to get out, this man comes in the exit at the same time that the woman and her child pull out. And they literally squealed to catch that green light as it was turning red to get the fuck out of there. This guy in this gold, like old Toyota, like 90s truck pulls in, decides he wants to back in right beside the fucking exit. So me and Papa are still sitting there. Well, I'm watching creepy guy to my left. And I watch as one of his friends comes out of the Walgreens. He was one of the guys that he was standing in front of the Sarah V with when I walked in. Now, this guy has on, I'm not shitting you, neon orange tracksuit bottoms that are like joggered. Got on some fuck ass shoes.
Go balls.
He's got on a bomber hoodie jacket, zip up, that is all camo. And he's got red longer hair. And he comes out and he tries to dab up creepy guy. And creepy guy in the black hat is not even paying attention to him long enough to like see that. So dude trying to like dabs him up like 3 different times and he doesn't react. And finally he gets his attention. He turns around, he dabs him up. And then creepy guy leans over into neon orange pants guy's ear and says something. And then about that time, they both turn around and are squinting into cars in the parking lot. So finally, the guy in the 90s gold truck backs in. Me and Papa get out. And again, I am not leaving Papa's fucking tail. Right. I am beside him at all fucking times. So we get out of the parking lot, and now I'm sitting on the road beside the parking lot. And it's kind of, the parking lot is like kind of up on a hill. And I watch as creepy guy and his neon orange pant friend, they're walking through the parking lot, looking into cars, looking around cars. And then the gold truck guy literally crosses paths with creepy guy as creepy guy goes to check in the trunk of his car. So old Papa in the gold truck turns around in the parking lot and he's like, what are you doing? Then as I'm at the red light, still watching all this happen, creepy guy comes up to like the grassy mound on the top of the hill around the fucking parking lot and is looking on the road.
What the fuck?
And as this is happening, I shit you guys not, 5 different cop cars are like around us and I see them watching him. So then I drive down the road going back towards my house and I pass 4 more cop cars, not sirens, not lights, but they're fucking killing it over there. So then I'm thinking, okay, are they coming to see what the fuck's going on here? Because no way, they were being so weird inside the Walgreens. Like, I'm sure Walgreens called on them because, like, it was so not okay. The vibes were so off. Then I was like, should I fucking call 911 and, like, tell them?
I hate that.
I could draw a picture of the guy. Yeah, no, I was terrified for her. So then I was like, I don't know if that's, like, someone to her, or if she just knows he's like a freak,
like sees it on Facebook.
Yeah, like I don't know what the fuck she saw or how she knew him, but she got the fuck out, and then they went through all of the like I felt like I was in a chase scene in a fucking movie, the way that I got out of there with those like box truck crossing me so he didn't see what car I got in. I was fucking scared. Like my heart rate, I'm sure if I checked my aura, it'd be like, you were very, very stressed at this point in time.
That's so scary.
I know. It was so fucking scary. But now I'm regretting not calling the cops because I should have. Like I should have just I could give them a full fucking description of every single thing that was going on. I even wrote it down in my journal. So like if I saw something, I could fucking call about it. But yeah. Oh, Phoebe's calling.
Oh.
Sorry, y'all. It's my mom's birthday, and I was giving her gift on the phone with my siblings. But yeah, that was fucking crazy that happened
That's
today.
scary.
Yeah.
Oh, I will tell you guys, my redneck hunting have a husband.
Oh, Lord.
He got himself a deer, a buck deer, and he is just so proud of it.
Well, good. Look at him.
I begged him. I really did. I begged him. I was like, please don't shoot a deer.
Please.
For the last 5 years, like you haven't. Like, I don't want deer meat.
Yeah.
We're not paying to mount it.
Yeah.
Like, don't shoot
How much
a deer.
deer meat you got?
Apparently it got it was finished today, but I told him, I said, you can own, like, I'll cook it, but like I don't like deer steak. But like the back strap is like the only good piece of the deer. So he did that, and then a bunch of like Slim Jims.
We had deer sausage this weekend.
Yeah, I don't mind the Slim Jim. So that was that. And then the rest, I think he did ground meat, and we're just going to give it to the city mission. We're not bringing that back here.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No.
But yeah, he was just so proud, and he's, you know.
He took a big picture smiling with it.
He did with all of his orange and camo. I can't. And now he's on this big hunting kick too, that all he wanted for Christmas was,
God.
it was golf stuff, and then it was like, and new hunting clothes.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not.
No. You get one hobby.
You can give that gift to your parents.
One fucking hobby.
To get you.
Okay? Like,
Not interested.
I'm not being a part of that one. Okay? That's funny. Well, we've got a little bit of a different episode for you because Morgan is ill. And one thing that you get with us is that I am a podcast listener just like you. And one thing that I love is when people are very committed to getting their content out. One thing I don't love, though, is having to hear someone sniffle and cough and choke and suffocate themselves because they can't fucking breathe, and then get a head high because they literally have such little oxygen going to their fucking brain.
Yep.
So I relieved Morgan. She got sick on the most perfect day because the case I have is literally over 20 pages.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hit you with a crime episode today, which is only fair considering you do get creepy account episodes.
That's true.
That is true.
We could do this once a month.
We could do this once a month, and I'd come out with my big daddy stories, but then, I'll be mentally ill for a little while, so we probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I will say that I'm glad that this took place because I do have notes done for today's episode, but at the end of it, I ended it so abruptly. Yeah. And I was like, sorry, we could go into this forever, but like, I'm really mad at myself that I picked this case to cover when I'm sick, and I literally can't look at my computer anymore. Love you, bye.
Love you,
like,
bye.
we'll pick up another time in a couple years from now.
Well, good news is that now we get your full story next week.
Yes.
And then if maybe what I'll do, because we initially talked about maybe I don't have to do a case next week, and I might not be able to because I'm traveling. But I think I have like it's not
based
a mini.
Off this
it's
one?
longer than a mini. Yeah. Well, there's multiple based off this one that I could do. Mm-hmm. And you get a case in the case already with this one. There's one that I scripted out like a few months ago and never got around to covering because it was a little too short for a regular episode, a little too long for a mini.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm at 10 pages without even fucking trying.
Without even
like,
finishing
digging into it, really. So I could get us wherever we needed to be. So.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. Next week, we'll go back to a form of regular scheduled creeps and crimes, but we still wanted to give you a good episode. We didn't want you to have to, unfortunately, hear Morgan's demise through the microphone because one thing about, I literally hate recording when I'm sick because you can't breathe.
Well, and you're also like extra like conscious, like when you're just, when you're sick and walking around like day to day and like having normal conversations, like you can take your time, but like you're extra conscious whenever this picks up on every little fucking thing. So I'm like,
and then plus this room is like so, encompass the sound. It's so fucking soundproof. It really is. You're like way louder. So you hear your breaths way more. Especially when we sit in these chairs because like my office side of the room is not because we don't put anything over there really, but over here.
were really
If my desk was over here, I think I'd go insane.
Oh, yeah.
My
You'd hear your heartbeat.
inside thoughts would be so loud. And they're already fucking never stopping. So anyways, we'll get to this episode for you guys. So Morgan, hit them with it.
If you're driving, throw that shit on cruise control.
I'm sorry, pause. I have to tell you something crazy that Logan said to me.
Oh, I love to hear this. So
a few weeks ago, I don't know if you guys have taken a little looky poo, but since your girl has been not pregnant and taking her Adderall every day, your fucking YouTube, Instagram thumbnails have been absolutely unbelievable because I'm so obsessed with doing them right now because we have so many awesome pictures from our photo shoot with Kedden. And Kedden and David got engaged.
Oh my God.
Oh my, he did such a fucking production. It was so great. I had finished all the one because there was like a few from when I was pregnant and like could barely even get an episode out where I literally didn't even do a thumbnail on a single fucking video for months. So I went back and I did all of the old thumbnails and I did like the current thumbnails. And so one day me and Logan were in the living room and we were on YouTube and I was like, let me show you my thumbnails that I've been working on. So pull up Creeps and Crimes and I'm like, this is a thumbnail I've been doing. He's like, oh, I haven't seen the new studio on YouTube yet. Can you pick a video from the new studio? I said, yeah, let me pick one that's my favorite because it took us a little bit to figure out this lighting. Probably didn't fix it that good today. I think that's a little too bright still. Anyways, so I pull up one where I knew that we had fixed the lighting and it looked good. It had picked up from where I had last listened to it. And most of the time I really just listen through our intro just to A, give us a listen and or review, and B, because I like to listen back to our intros. It came up like right when we were saying, you know, if you're throwing that shit on cruise control, drink that shit on. And we did it and Logan was like, wait, back that up. And so I back it up and he's like, this is not how you guys say that. And I said, Logan, I've been doing this for like 6 years almost. So that's how we fucking do it. And he was like, no, it's just so like bland and not exciting. Like, were you trying to hype people up to get creepy with you? And I said, Logan, that was a bad day. That was a bad day that you're looking at. I cannot believe. I said, you can shut the fuck up and you can get out of here. And he's like, I'm just saying, you guys used to have a lot more enthusiasm when you said it. He said, you're looking at your phone. And I was looking at my phone.
Okay, creative director Logan.
I was like, you can talk to me when you have a show, in fact, because what in the fuck is that about? Are you kidding me? We need some more charisma, some more enthusiasm. Oh, no. Not the charisma. Anyway, so this time, hit him with it with some charisma.
I'm going to try my best. If you're driving... Throw that shit on cruise control.
If you got a glass, pour that shit up.
And let's get creepy. I can't breathe.
That's good.
I can't breathe.
Okay, before we get into this episode, into this big case I have for you guys, with our next sponsor, you're going to be able to avoid the daily 5 p.m. Hey, what's for dinner question once and for all with TTYL.
Our absolute favorite sponsor.
It really has taken number one
and has saved us so many times,
much time,
especially with the boys, because they can do it.
They can do it and they don't even have to question it. They have the app on their phone. Amazing. It's not just on our phone. It's amazing. This podcast is sponsored by TTYL. TTYL is a smart meal delivery service, fresh meals, and a smart oven that does the cooking for you.
TTYL makes it so easy. You can just scan the meal's QR code, pop it in the oven, and it cooks perfectly. It'll steam, bake, and broil automatically, no guesswork needed. And during TTYL's Black Friday sale, you can get a free TTYL smart oven when you order meals 6 times by heading to TTYL.com/CAC and using our code CAC.
Literally this week, because you know, you have so many Thanksgiving leftovers and then you get so tired of the Thanksgiving leftovers. My saving grace this week was our TTYL meals being delivered, because we got the Parmesan crusted chicken breast with the cheese tortellini and the garlicky sun-dried tomato marinara. TTYL feels like cooking in the future, except for it's right now. It's how cooking should be.
And TTYL's smart oven isn't just for their meals. You can also use the oven to scan store-bought groceries like Eggo waffles, Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, and Amy's frozen meals, to name just a few. And it knows how to cook them too.
I love the Amy's like frozen burritos. Those are my favorite. Ooh. And it cooks them to perfection every time. If you cook it in the microwave, you're going to break into it, and guess what? It's cold. With TTYL, you can finally remove dinner from your to-do list. For a limited time, because you are a Creeps and Crimes bestie, a Creeps and Crimes listener, during TTYL's Black Friday sale, you can get a free TTYL Smart Oven when you order 6+ times by heading to TTYL.com/CAC and using our code CAC.
That's a free TTYL Smart Oven when you head to TTYL.com/CAC and use promo code CAC. One last time, that's TOVALA.com, and make sure you use our promo code CAC for a free TTYL Smart Oven. Remember, with TTYL, dinner is taken care of.
Okay, everyone, are you ready to get into my case?
I am so excited.
Good. I'm glad. I'm trying to get to Google Docs. So hold that excitement. Hold it right there. All right.
Hold
Pan
that
for the
charisma.
camera.
Hold the sparkle fingers.
Applause continue. Applause continue. So today I'm going to be telling you guys about the case of Patrice Endres. It's spelled, her last name is spelled Endres. And so like naturally I'd be like Andreas. But the way that they pronounced it on like every interview I saw was Endres. So that's
sorry, my boots just like ripped my socks off, and I really wanted to sit up and cross-legged because I think it's gonna help my nose. So
it's definitely gonna help your nose. Oh, and before I jump into this case, I did want to crack open a cold one for myself because I've had horrible ovulation cramps all fucking day long.
It's terrible.
And I cannot wait to absolutely veg out after we finish recording. So I'm going to have me half of a Nowadays, which is a 10 milligram THC drink. And I'm in love.
Literally chuck that.
You would not be able to drive home. So if you weren't driving home right now, then yeah. So
if you're throwing that shit on cruise control, then don't. Yeah,
don't do that. But I have berry. The berry one's my favorite. There's 4 different flavors. Berry's been my favorite so far.
It's a big drink.
It's a big. Well, you can. It's like got a marker where like the halfway point is. So you can only do 5 if you want to do 5. But I'm gonna full send it with the 10. Why not? Okay.
I wish I could try it.
I know. I would let you try it when we get you a little cup and you try it.
No.
Yeah, this is really good. One of these days you're going to try it. Okay. It's Thursday, April 15th, 2004, and it was just like any other day for the 38-year-old Patrice Endres living in Cumming, Georgia, which is Forsyth County.
Say that sounds familiar.
And yes, there's been many cases that we've covered there. Specifically, Tamala, she was the black woman who was at the all-white woman sleepover and happened to be the only one who was killed. Yes. And Forsyth County is a fucking scary ass county to live in and have your case investigated in, especially if you are a black woman. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. This is like just northeast of Atlanta, with Alpharetta being the halfway point between Cumming, Georgia and Atlanta. Patrice woke up, threw on her running shoes and workout clothes, and began running on the treadmill inside of her house that she shared with her husband and her son. This was her son, Delves, who goes by his nickname since he was a toddler, Pistol. So I'm going to only refer to him as Pistol. Signal to get up and start getting ready for the school day. Pistol was 15 at the time. Yeah. And he literally looks like a pistol. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but that's his fucking born name. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
So Pistol was 15 at the time, and this had been their morning routine or his morning alarm system for as long as he could remember. Patrice and Pistol were extremely close, as she had been a single mother since Pistol was a baby when she and his father, Don, split up. They ended their relationship on very mutual terms and actually became best friends in order to give their son a healthy co-parenting lifestyle. In fact, Patrice and Don, Pistol's father, would talk on the phone almost every single day.
Wow.
Some people might say that the three of them had more of a friendship than like a co-parenting meets child type of relationship, but that's just the way that they did things, and it worked really good for them. Pistol had watched as Patrice worked her ass off as a hairstylist at other people's salons for years to provide a good life for the two of them. But it wasn't just a job for Patrice. This was her passion and her calling. Patrice had this unbelievable gift when it came to connecting with people, and hair, of course. Because of this, once she got a client, they literally never left her. They became friends with Patrice and called or visited her shop almost daily to just catch up. If they were passing through or just like saw that she was there, they'd pull in and talk to her. Something that was
a lot.
It says a lot. Something that was no problem for her boss because she was her own boss. After so many years of working to save up the cash to open up her own salon, Patrice was finally able to take this leap of faith approximately 8 years prior when she was 30 years old after meeting and falling in love with her husband, Rob. Rob and Patrice met through friends, and they met because he walked in there one day and got like randomly assigned with her at this other salon that she was working at, and he was like, I'm never gonna stop getting my hair done by you. And then they fell in love. She was 30 at the time and he was 50. Instantly kicked it off, even though there's a 20-year age gap. But like, you know, when you're an adult,
right,
fuck it, you know what I mean?
I agree.
The two got married.
Like once you like hit that 30-year mark, it really doesn't make it
like when you're in your 20s, it's like, okay, like something,
like, well, am I gonna say that I think that the football coach and the 21-year-old is a little weird.
Belichick and Jordan, yeah,
I do think that's a little weird.
I think
that's fucking weird. Get your fucking bag.
Get your bag, babe. Like, and let him wear those holy clothes and you walk around in fucking Gucci.
And she still cheers. You know that she's on a super senior competitive cheer team.
I had no idea.
At Cheer Extreme.
Fucking. She's become his publicist.
Yeah.
I was watching an interview that he did, and she was like, nope, cut. You saw that one?
I saw that. Yeah, that was so crazy. Good. That is a little weird of me.
That one's a little weird to me.
Once you hit 30.
I mean, whatever, you know. So the two got married on March 2nd, 1997, and Rob played a really large role in helping Patrice to secure her own business and a building for her business. She named it Tamber's Trim and Tan Salon as an ode to her maiden name, Patrice Timber, yeah. Either way, that morning, Thursday, April 15th, 2004, Patrice got showered and ready after her run on the treadmill that woke Pistol up and met Pistol by the front door to head out to school as Rob got up and got ready for work.
How did your mom wake you guys up for school?
She'd come in my room and she'd rub my back and she'd turn on the TV with the news on it.
Mother, if you're listening to this, what the fuck? Are you kidding me?
She would open up my windows, turn on the news, and rub my back.
When did you start using like your own phone alarm?
Oh, probably like 5th grade when I got an iHome.
Really?
No, actually it was 4th grade because I got the CD player alarm clock system. Well, you have to remember that was around the same year that Lola was born, Phoebe was born. So like...
Yeah, I would say my mom woke me up every day for school until probably high school.
Really? Yeah. I loved waking. So like, I got that CD player
until I got
one.
Like a legit, like nice iPhone. Like
yeah.
Because even, I would say even in middle school, I feel like we still had like Blackberries and stuff with iPods.
Yeah.
iHomes, iDog, whatever.
I don't think I used a phone as an alarm until I was in high school because I always had like an alarm clock.
I remember one day, it was the most important day at school ever. I don't know what was going on, but I would say 3rd or 4th grade.
Oh, God.
And I wake up and I know it was too bright out. And I'm like running around crazy, thinking maybe it was a 2-hour delay or something. And I'm like, Mom, is it a 2-hour delay? She's like, no. I'm like, why didn't you wake me up? She was like, I opened that door and you just looked so sweet sleeping. I just couldn't wake you up.
Beth Ann.
And I'm like,
it's an important day.
But no, she would flip our light on. Get up.
Oh, no. My mom wouldn't do that. But that's only because if she did that, I was in a bad mood for the rest of the day.
Well, I guess she was trying to get 4
Yeah, your mom's getting up.
Get up. Get the fuck up.
That's the best way for her to do that.
She would never say fuck, but...
She would never say that. But that is the most functional way for her to get all you motherfuckers up.
And then she would go and do her hair, and she'd come back and, why is everyone sleeping?
Oh, my God.
And we'd get our asses beat in the morning. Chewed out.
Then my mom would proceed to fight me in elementary school about what I was going to wear because God forbid that she picked out my outfit. Oh. I'm picking out my own fucking outfit.
I used to have meltdowns about clothes.
Oh, yeah. Every morning.
My mom would pick out my outfit, and then I would be like,
I'm not fucking wearing it.
I hate everything. Yeah. I'm not wearing that.
Yeah, I did.
Meanwhile, they're all the same. I'd wear it the next day, no problem.
Yeah, literally. It's just I didn't want to wear that day.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to pick out my own outfit.
That is going to be my karma.
When I was in, I guess it had to be like 3rd grade, I asked for this alarm clock that had, okay, you probably will remember this because like it was all the rage at the time that this came out. It was a white alarm clock and it was like a square. And at the top of the square, there was a half circle and that would open, the front of it would open and that's where your CD would go. And you could set your alarm clock to play, like start playing the CD and you could pick which song you wanted the CD to start playing.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. I think we had a silver one.
Okay, yeah, I had a white one. And it was silver on the front though. And
maybe it was white.
And it had a blue light whenever it would turn on and start playing the CD. The blue light would come on, you could see it through the clear like CD spinner on the inside. So I asked for that for Christmas. It was like it was like my big gift that I was gonna get that year. I was so fucking excited about this alarm clock. So I get this alarm clock. I'm like, oh my God, It's the best thing ever. So I go upstairs and I would be like, don't fucking wake me up. Let the alarm clock wake me up. So I would set that alarm clock for like 5 o'clock in the morning. So that way no one would wake me up. Only the alarm clock would wake me up. And it would always wake me up for like the first year, because this was my favorite song at the time. It was by this band LFO, I think it was. And it was like, I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yep.
I'd take her if I had one wish. She's been gone since that summer. And I would wake up to that every morning for like a year.
Put on your Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah, and I'd be like, and I'd get up and get ready to it, and I'd act like I was like Lizzie McGuire, you know, the opening of the Lizzie McGuire movie when like music's playing, she's getting ready. I remember thinking that. So that's why I'd freak the fuck out about my outfits, because I'm like, I'm in a different mood today than what you picked out.
Yeah,
like,
see, we did have alarm clocks, but we didn't use them because I think my mom knew we wouldn't wake up to them, and then she'd have to go around and shut off 4 alarm
and
clocks.
she knew for sure, because to this day.
I still don't.
To this day.
I hate an alarm clock.
Oh, that's funny.
More than anything.
I do hate alarm clocks.
And it has to be like so soft twinkle, like something
and then
so
when you
soft.
could like change it to a song to wake you up on your iPhone, I picked this Ray montage. You know,
and then God forbid you change the sound and you won't wake up.
You won't wake up. But now I can't listen to that song without having like a heart attack. Yeah. Like if that song comes out, it's the one that starts like, you are the best thing, the best thing.
I don't think I know that.
You definitely know that song. It plays at every wedding that you've ever been to.
What we were singing in the car?
No, I can't figure it out. We
neither.
literally searched through. Guys, last night Nikki and McKenna stopped by because Nikki. First off, it was a whole fucking clusterfuck. I told Nikki to bring my car back on Monday night, and then Monday night came. I was like, I don't need my fucking car because I was gonna go to a Pilates class this morning, and then when we moved to our recording, I was like, I ain't going to the fucking Pilates class because I'm gonna be beat before the recording. Then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll go to the Pilates class. But either way, I could just drive Logan's truck. Like I don't really need it. And she had to go turn in her angel trees this morning. So I was like. When she calls me, I figured she'd call me before she had this way. I was like, when she calls me, I'll just tell her don't worry about it and just bring me the car back tomorrow. So didn't think anything of it. I eat dinner. Me and Logan are sitting on the couch, and Nikki pulls up, and I'm like, "Bitch, you didn't even fucking call me. You tell me you were coming." She says, "You just told me to bring me back Monday night." I said, "I know, but I figured you fucking called me on the way over here." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't need it." And she was like, "Okay, well, I'll just drive it home." So we're sitting there talking. And about 15 minutes later, there's a knock at my door. We're all like, what the fuck? Nikki's like, who the fuck is out there? We can't see because it's dark. It's McKenna. She's like, I forgot I called McKenna to come pick me up. And I told McKenna to come pick me up whenever I was coming over here because I was on the phone with her and she was going to drive me back home. Now we have an impromptu hangout. Yeah. All of a sudden. Now we can't leave. And then we start talking about this one. It was a trend that we turned into something.
Something crazy.
Something crazy. After Madison Payton's wedding, in September of 2022, and there's a video somewhere
of
us having Beth Ann say it. It's not on any of our phones. I checked Logan's phone because I was like, maybe my phone was dead.
Maybe it's Aaron's.
Maybe you have to go through.
I will.
September 10th, 2022. Go find it.
Yeah, I remember we had a
we
video
found the most unhinged shit on the planet, but we never found the fucking saying of the song.
We were saying
it was a trend. It was like a song.
And we were saying something about dicks.
It was something about like a dick or a cock. I don't know what the fuck it was.
It was a cock.
It was a cock. It was like something like, but it wasn't like fat fucking cock. It was like something in a song that like someone on the internet had like turned into a saying. That sound bit went viral, and then we changed it to something else.
To cock.
To cock. I don't know why, but that's what we did. Anyways.
It is cock.
I don't know. I've literally.
This is crazy.
I've gone through my fucking likes on Instagram, tried and go back to 2022 to find out what the fuck it was. Because if I could just hear the song it was, I would know it instantly.
Yeah.
Guys, we talked about literally.
It's driving us crazy. I thought about it all day today.
I've thought about it literally. When they came to bring the car back today, and then McKenna drove back home, and the second they walked in the door, both of them, did you ever think of the song? No, I didn't. Did Morgan ever think of it? No. It is on the tip of my tongue. I swear to God, it's going to come to me in 4 months from now.
And I feel like we still will say it every now and again when we're together.
You know what? I should go back on the podcast.
I don't think we would have.
I went and I checked our comments under everyone's pictures from that weekend. I went into everyone's post. It wasn't on there. Maybe we would have said it on like Patreon or something where like just me and you like not explaining what it is, but just like said it. Or like made an inside joke about it. I cannot find it anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to drive me nuts.
I know. Okay, so I'm going to get back to this case. Patrice dropped Pistol off at high school before heading to her salon, parking her car outside in her normal spot, which is backing into the spot closest to the side door. If you're looking at the building, it's on the left side. And this was kind of like her front porch light being on type of thing, because if you saw Patrice's large black SUV backed into her spot on the left side of the building, you knew she was open for business. So like everyone knew that about her. And this is what the building looked like. So her parking spot would be right here, guys. Okay. I'm going to post this stuff for you guys to see on our Instagram.
Okay.
So you know what I'm talking about. Patrice was there when her first and longtime client, Pam, arrived 10 minutes early for her 9 a.m. appointment. So Pam gets there and felt like Patrice was distracted throughout their appointment, like not really paying much attention to Pam, really like in her own head, which was very unlike Patrice and Pam's like relationship that they had with one another, especially because Pam was one of those clients that had become a friend to Patrice. They finish up and Pam leaves the salon at 11:05 a.m. and 5 minutes later, Patrice's next client, Paul, arrives for his appointment at 11:10 a.m., getting there right on time. Paul was getting just a quick trim, so he was in and out, leaving the salon at 11:27 a.m. And as he is walking out, he gets a phone call, which is how he knew the exact time that he walked out of the salon, because he had paid in cash. And this was the beginning of Patrice's 30-minute lunch break that she would make for herself. So she would always leave open 11:30 to 12. She did as she typically would during her lunch break. She picked up a phone call or two, she reset her station, cleaned up the salon, popped her lunch that she had packed into the microwave. But when her 12 o'clock appointment showed up, there was no sign of Patrice. And things were odd, to say the least. You see, this client was a long-time regular. Let's just call her Sarah, since her name has been redacted on any report I've read. And the first thing that Sarah noticed when pulling into the salon was the location of Patrice's large black SUV. Again, I'm going to post this photo for you guys. Instead of it being parked in its normal spot, it had been pulled around to the front of the building with the driver's side door really close to the front door. And the front door of the salon was wide open. So Morgan, here is where the car was.
Okay.
In front. So there's the front door awning area. She's pulled up right to it.
The car I drove in high school?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, is that a Chevy Tahoe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Chevy Tahoe. So it's not in her normal spot. It's pulled around the front of the building and in front of the front door, and the front door is wide fucking open. So Sarah, when she pulled in, thought, oh, maybe Patrice is taking
unloading
stuff in and out, doing whatever. So she enters in the open front door and she calls out to Patrice, being like, hey, do you need any help getting anything from your car? But there was no response and no sign of Patrice. Sarah then realizes that the cash register is wide open and it is empty. There is not a single penny left behind. Patrice's purse and her car keys were laying wide open on the counter, and her lunch was still in the Tupperware, not even put in the microwave beside her purse. However, other than that, the place was in completely normal, pristine condition. There were no signs of a struggle. There was nothing that was out of place other than just the cash register being empty and her purse being wide open at the front. Still though, Sarah's intuition was telling her that something was not right. The energy just felt heavy. So she steps outside the front door again and she calls 911, because if one thing's for sure and two things were fucking certain, Patrice would never just up and leave her salon or clients hanging. It would have, for her to have been gone and all of her belongings to be left behind, the cash register open and emptied with the front door wide open, something horrible had happened.
For sure, yeah.
Investigators immediately shut down the scene and began investigating. They searched the entire surrounding area, looking in the woods around her salon and other buildings around to see if she had ran over to another business for help, but there was no sign of Patrice or anything that belonged to her. As hours passed and the news spread of her sudden disappearance, hundreds of people, clients, friends, and family were rushing to the salon, each of them volunteering to sit down with police and tell them everything that they knew about Patrice and help in any way that they could. And little by little, police were able to piece together a timeline of Patrice's last movements through not only interviews, but phone and financial records, and even witnesses as well. Though I have just walked us through the timeline a little bit earlier, just, in the storytelling of it all, I'm going to give it to you in like a block format, because this timeline is incredibly important to this case. And also I'm going to add in some of the things that investigators learned from interviewing the witnesses, her friends, and so on. So at 8:50 a.m., Pam, first client of the day, arrives 10 minutes early for her 9 a.m. appointment. At 11:05 a.m., Pam leaves. Patrice seems distant, distracted throughout the entire appointment, very unlike her. 5 minutes after Pam leaves, at 11:10 a.m., second client, Paul, arrives for his haircut. 11:27 a.m., Paul leaves the salon, and as he's walking out to the car, he gets a phone call. And this is where the new developments come in. At 11:35 a.m., a customer called to reschedule her appointment with Patrice. Patrice answered the phone, and during the phone call, the client felt as if Patrice was being short with her, which stood out as a red flag because, again, Patrice was anything but short. She was a very much people person. She would have been yapping on the phone call while eating her lunch, just catching up. But this client was like, she was being really short. I thought she was like annoyed with me for changing my appointment, whatever. This phone call lasts 2 minutes and they hang up at 11:37 a.m. Then at 11:50 a.m., a second customer / friend of Patrice's calls and gets no answer. She then calls Patrice's cell phone and it goes straight to voicemail. And we know that by the time her 12th client arrives, Patrice is gone. Therefore, something happened to Patrice in that 13-minute window between hanging up to reschedule that call when she, after that 2-minute call at 11:37 a.m. and that second call from her friend that went unanswered at 11:50 a.m. Now, here are some interesting things that Patrice's friends and clients tell investigators. But just to pause right here, 13 minutes. 13 minutes is this window.
You do a lot in 13 minutes.
A lot can happen in 13 minutes. So that 11:50 a.m. call was actually from a woman named Ann. Ann had been a client and friend of Patrice for many, many years. And she actually lived right by the salon. So every afternoon when Ann would get off from work, she would stop by the salon and visit with Patrice. Just like pop in on her way home. But before that, the two would always talk on their lunch breaks. So that's what she was calling for. So when she got that no answer at 11:50 a.m., Ann naturally is like, oh, she's probably busy. So she drives home from work. And as she's on her way home, she's going to stop at the salon and go visit with Patrice. And she pulls up with hundreds of police cars in the area.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So she immediately pulls in, jumps out of her car, runs up to a police officer and says, what is going on? And investigators pull her aside and fill her in on what had been going on, asking if there was anything off about Patrice in the prior days. And Ann instantly recalled this interaction that she and Patrice had had just the day before, less than 24 hours before this. Just as she had done every other day for their friendship, Ann and Patrice talked on the phone at lunch the day before. And then after Ann finished up at work, she stopped by to visit on her way home. But that day, as she was leaving the salon, Patrice, who lovingly called her woman, called out to Ann as she opened the salon door to leave, asking, quote, woman, are you going to be back in here to visit me tomorrow? Ann said, of course I will. Sitting with police, Ann explained how this was something that Patrice had never once asked her before, because why would she not come visit? She came and visit every single day. Police felt the same way about this interaction as Ann because of something that they had learned from Pistol, Patrice's son. He was actually one of the first people police went to when searching for his mom, pulling him out of his 10th grade biology class to have him call his mother off of his cell phone, a call that she would never miss. So they have him call not once, but 3 times. And each time it goes straight to voicemail. And they even waited with Pistol in his SRO office at the high school for an hour, hoping that she would call him back like she always did. But not this time. Investigators then told 15-year-old Pistol about what they had found in the salon, and his first thought was there was absolutely no way anyone took her from inside the salon because that place would have been a wreck. She would have fought to stay with me. And that's exactly what everyone said. She would have never left without a fight, especially because she would never leave Pistol. Therefore, police theorized that if she had been taken and hadn't just walked away from her life for whatever reason, her abductor would have had to lure her outside with a ruse, such as needing a jump on their car, which would explain the placement of Patrice's car
why she
out front. She wouldn't have thought twice about helping someone. People would stop into her salon all the time and ask for directions because it was in such like a central location. However, there was a conversation that instantly popped into Pistol's mind when police asked him about his mother's behavior and actions in the prior weeks and days. He told investigators that about 2 weeks before this, the two of them were in the car going somewhere. In the silence of their car ride, Patrice randomly asked him, if I was to go anywhere, and this is verbatim, if I was to go anywhere, where would you go? And that wording is really interesting to me. And Pistol answered, I don't know, my dad's house, I guess. And that's where the conversation ended. Now, these two instances with both Pistol and Ann had investigators wondering if Patrice potentially suspected that something was going to happen to her or she was in danger, which was only amplified when two completely independent witnesses, so two people who have no relation to each other at all, come forward to police. Witness number one was this local woman named Tammy. And at 11:45 a.m., so in that 13-minute window where investigators believe something happened to Patrice, Tammy was passing by Patrice's salon. Well, as she came over the hill that the salon sat on top of, the first thing she noticed was Patrice's car pulled in front of the building, like how it was when investigators got there. But that wasn't the only car in the lot. Pulled directly in front of Patrice's car, positioned directly in front of the front door of the salon, was a small 4-door blue sedan. What Tammy believed was a blue Chevy Lumia with the Georgia Quail wildlife tag on the back. From what Tammy could see as she drove by, the front door of the salon was wide open, and two women were standing between the front door of the salon and the front hood of this blue sedan, which again was pulled directly up to the front door.
But neither of the hoods were popped up or anything.
Not from the description that I heard. So I guess not, because she could see these two women standing there. And she says that one woman was tall. She had dark, long hair. This is Patrice. And she was standing at the, like, where the emblem would be in front of the grill of the blue car. So directly in the center of the hood.
Okay.
And beside her, off to the like passenger front, like the passenger side front headlight, was a shorter, older lady with short, light colored hair. Now, what Tammy thought at the time was Patrice helping an older woman became a lot more sinister, because these two women weren't just standing there and talking, leaning up against the car's hood. They had hands on each other.
Oh, shit.
At the time, Tammy thought to herself, oh, that old lady must have fallen and Patrice was helping her get up. But in hindsight, it's like, oh shit, no, they were involved in a struggle. Now, witness number two is a local man who we're going to call Brian. Couldn't find his name anywhere, so Brian's his name. He passes by at the exact same time, 11:45 a.m. I mean, him and Tammy must have passed each other on the fucking road. Mm-hmm. He was coming from a different direction. And he pretty much saw the exact same thing. However, there were two distinct differences from what he perceived. Number one is that he believed the blue 4-door sedan was actually a Ford Taurus or a Chevy Malibu, not a Chevy Lumina? That's the thing, I said that wrong. Anyway, and then the second thing was that instead of it being the tall, dark, long-haired woman, Patrice, and an older, shorter woman with light-colored hair, he believed that it was Patrice and a shorter man with shoulder-length hair.
Oh.
Involved in the struggle. Either way, though, these two witnesses, who again were completely independent of each other, called completely unattached to each other at the same time, essentially saw the same exact scene. And honestly, witness accounts and interviews with Patrice's family and friends was really all police had to work with. Every search that they performed came up empty-handed. It was as if Patrice quite literally disappeared into thin air. But with every single interview they conducted with Patrice's closest friends, family, her husband, her son, her clients, there was one blaring red flag, and that was her husband, of course.
Current husband, not Pistol's dad.
Not Pistol's dad. Pistol's dad lives out on a farm.
Okay.
He ain't even in town, baby. He's off grid.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see, everything was great in their relationship and marriage until their 1-year anniversary came around. So not that long. It was like a flip had switched in Rob, and he essentially decided that he didn't want Pistol in his life anymore. That's not a fucking option.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Up until that point, they had a pretty normal relationship for a 9-year-old and a new stepdad. Rob cared, that first year about trying to form a relationship with Pistol. He wanted to be in on the loop of all of, Patrice and Pistol's inside jokes and fun times and the bond that they had. Because like I said, they were tight. But 9-year-olds are fucking hard, And gaining enough trust to be involved in this close bond that Patrice and Pistol had was definitely going to take a lot longer than a fucking year, Rob. But he couldn't wait that long. He said it himself that he, quote, this is a verbatim quote, didn't see a future for Pistol, so he stopped caring.
A 9-year-old boy.
Yeah. Rob's biggest argument was that Patrice let Pistol do whatever he wanted and never disciplined him to Rob's liking, at least, which quickly took their relationship down a dark path because you're talking shit about my son, my parenting tactics. You've been here for a year. I've been raising this kid for the last 9 years. So thank you, but no thank you. And Patrice was not oblivious to it. She would talk about how sour their relationship was becoming. Rob turned controlling. He was jealous of everyone and everything in Patrice's life, her friends, her clients, and even her son, something that Rob argues and denies to this very day. Well, until he died in 2023. Patrice actually had confided in Pistol and a few of her best friends that she was so unhappy with Rob, but wasn't in a place that she could get out of the marriage just yet. It's so sad.
That is so sad.
All of which was explicitly expressed to investigators by Patrice's closest confidants. Therefore, Rob was brought in for interrogations as early as 2 p.m. the day that Patrice went missing.
I know Bestie that had phone calls at lunch and stopped every day had the fucking tea.
I know she did. She knew exactly what was going on. And I wish y'all could see. Let me just draw you guys a picture of Anne real fast, because when y'all know what Anne looks like, you know she don't fuck around. Anne has the 2006 special Karen head, but she's not a fucking Karen. Spiky in the back, long bangs in the front, bleached blonde. The most XXL volume lash extensions you've ever seen in your life, a dark smoky eye every day of her life, hot pink on in every interview I saw her in, hot pink eyeliner to match her hot pink shirt, long nails, earrings galore, jewels to the nines. My girl Anne don't fuck around.
No, she didn't.
I really know Anne don't fuck around.
I know she had the fucking
and I know she didn't fuck around about Patrice.
On a platter.
Okay, anyways, going back to where we were. So this concern with Rob and the unhappy relationship that they had was very explicitly expressed to investigators by all of Patrice's closest confidants. Therefore, Rob was brought in for interrogations as early as 2 p.m. the day that Patrice went missing.
Wow.
Something that he was totally okay with, something that he expected, in fact, considering, as he likes to boast in every interview I've ever seen of him, that he has a degree in criminology.
Oh. Do you?
Dude, not the flex you think it is in this situation, my man. Like, really pipe down about that shit.
Yeah.
Like, don't even bring it up.
Okay, Coca Burger.
But
I couldn't say that, but Co-Burger.
Yeah, exactly. But he was adamant that it wasn't him investigators should be looking at, but instead Pistol.
Oh.
He claimed that Pistol was unpredictable, jealous of his and Patrice's relationship and marriage, and even violent at times. Rob claimed that he was so scared of Pistol and hated him so very much that he even had a locksmith, the second he found out Patrice was missing, go to his and Patrice's and Pistol's house, change all the locks on the doors, and he refused to let Pistol in ever again.
You're so scared of the boy.
He didn't even give him a bag with clothes in it. He didn't give him a picture of Patrice, nothing.
That at 9 years old, you said he needed to go.
Yeah. You knew at 9 that he was a piece of shit, so at 15, you locked him out.
Okay.
The day that his mom went
missing. You changed all the
So
locks.
in one fucking day, Pistol loses his mother, his home,
and what
everything
locksmith can just pull up like that? Because if I'm locked out of the house, they take fucking 5 hours to get there.
They're taking 95 fucking business days to get there. He didn't let him have a single pair of clothes, not a single thing of school supplies,
That's sad.
Like not even a single photo of his mom, just the clothes on his back. That's all that Pistol had. So his father, Don, who again is one of Patrice's closest friends, rushes down to the station to be interviewed by investigators and picks up his son with just the clothes on his back. Pistol was very quickly cleared by investigators because he was accounted for all fucking day at school in 10th grade.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And surprisingly, so was Rob.
Uh-oh.
So you see, Rob's alibi was that he left the house that morning. He went straight to a gas station to fill up his tank, for which he got a time-stamped receipt that he kept and was able to quickly hand over to police. This gas station was in Woodstock, which is 45 minutes away from Patrice's salon, and then he drove straight from the gas station to work, which once again was time-stamped due to the turnstile that he had to go through to get in. And I looked all over and I could not find out what this guy did for work. So I don't know if he worked in criminology. I don't know what the fuck he did.
Gotta be some sort of corporate job though to go through a turn.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Like stamp your punch in.
Right.
Whatever.
Now, the Forsyth County detectives, in his own words, said that this doesn't mean Rob couldn't have organized a murder for hire. However, from what they found looking through every single thing that Rob was connected to, all of his devices, all of his bank accounts, it didn't seem likely. And on top of that, he really had nothing to gain with Patrice's disappearance because they didn't even have a life insurance policy on her. She was only 38.
Yeah. Damn, young as fuck.
I know. Pretty much.
And he was what, 70?
He'd probably been 58 at that time. But yeah, 70. Pretty much before investigators could even get this case off the ground, it was cold. Nothing in any of Patrice's belongings suggested that she had planned to walk away from her life. Nothing suggested that she was involved in anything nefarious. Nothing suggested that she had any enemies who would want to harm her. Pistol said in his interview with Unsolved Mysteries that he went to bed every single night for a year thinking that he would wake up to her sitting on his bed, saying that she was sorry for having to leave him, but she had to go handle some things so that they could have a better life without Rob, because that was the only thing that made sense to him. And unfortunately, that would never happen. Fast forward to September of 2004, when investigators get a break in the case, the first one that they had ever had. It had been 5 months since Patrice went missing, with no leads or tips, when Forsyth County detectives received a call from investigators in Mobile, Alabama, explaining that they had just arrested this 31-year-old serial killer who had confessed to Patrice's murder.
Oh, shit.
And his name was Jeremy Bryan Jones.
And Mobile is probably like, what, 5 hours?
Not that far
4
away.
hours?
Yeah, because this is Atlanta, essentially.
Yeah.
And if you're like, Jeremy Bryan Jones, damn, Tay, that sounds really fucking familiar. Sounds like really close in time. Well, you'd be 100% right, because I literally just talked about him in episode 227 when I covered the case of Ashley Freeman and Laura Bible, a case that he was a primary suspect in. Now,
I have to stop you there.
Refresher.
Yeah, because did you really just say literally just talked about him in 50 weeks ago?
Okay. But
5-0 a year ago. I literally just talked about him.
It was a year ago. It was exactly like a year ago. But the reason I said that is because if it was more than a year ago, I had to be like, a long time ago. But like, we were still in the 200s at that point. So like,
that's
close.
Crazy.
Just
like, I don't remember what we did last week.
Let me give you a refresher. Please. Since this was 52 weeks ago that we talked about this case. These two girls went missing on the night of December 29th, 1999, when they were having a sleepover at Ashley Freeman's house in Welch, Oklahoma. But they were only discovered to be missing when the Freeman's house burnt down, and in the pile of rubble, because the house was completely ash by the time firefighters got there, they found the murdered bodies of Ashley's parents, Danny and Kathy, who had been shot at close range, like execution style.
Was this in a mobile home?
Yes.
Or a single wide trailer?
Yes, and they remember that they never found the bodies, I think. Yeah.
Wasn't there train tracks there? Because wasn't he also a theory, that guy?
Oh yeah, the railroad killer. Yeah, he was, exactly. And remember, they like the investigators came, fire marshal was like, yeah, that's good. And then they come, like, friend who was spending the night there that was missing, they show up and they're like looking around, and they find in the rubble the bones of the parents, and that's how they found out that there was a body there. And then they thought that these two girls had murdered the parents and drove off without a fucking car, because all the cars were there.
Wait, is that the same? No, maybe I'm thinking of a different case. The same case where someone was able to get into a car and drive them directly to a field.
No, you're talking about the Dardine murders. That's right, though. Oh my God, that's right, because literally the Freeman and Bible case, I went back and checked my notes today, and scripted in there was, this case reminds me a lot of the Dardine family murders. They were in the trailer that they came in. They had that little boy and she was pregnant, and then the police found like
something with the dog too, maybe.
Yes. Like, and there was that big lot, and they were renting that lot, that plot on the farm, and across they drove someone into the fucking Okay. And those cases, they're not connected, but they're really similar. But they are connected in the way of the railway killer was considered.
Looks like I do pay attention.
Look at that. I will say that was the Freeman case. The Freeman Bible case was like one piece of this long journey I had taken us on after railroad killer or something. So we did talk about those cases in tandem for like a month long, because there were so many cases connected. Yeah. So that I could literally, if these cases are like seared in my brain.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Okay.
I'm so proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too. Where am I at? Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about Jeremy Bryan Jones's history, mainly because it would genuinely take me 10 years and I'm already running long here and I'm the only one doing a fucking case right now. Like, I don't know how we got this far and but I don't have time. We will come back to him one day. But he was arrested for the murder of a woman and confessed to the rapes and murders of over 8 different women that he was convicted of. He actually confessed to over 20 murders, however, one being Patrice's. Now, how they got there was that Jones was saying that he needed to tell these investigators down in Mobile about this hairdresser woman that he killed in Georgia. And first thing that pops in their mind is, oh my God, fucking Patrice. They go down there and Jones starts from the top. He like immediately starts talking and they're like, we heard that you want to talk about a hairdresser lady in Georgia. And he was like, yeah. He said, I was passing through town. I passed by her shop and it only had one black SUV parked outside. So he decided to stop in. He says that he created a ruse saying that he needed a jump, asking the woman to come outside and help him. He couldn't move his car, so she had to pull her car around. The woman grabbed her keys out of her purse. The two walked out. She pulled her car around and went and put her keys back on the counter inside. He forces her into his car at knife point. Naturally, this was all public information. So investigators asked him to draw them a picture of where the cars were parked. And he did. Exactly how the witnesses described how they were parked. He says he took her away, raped and killed her, and threw her body over a bridge into the Sweetwater Creek in Douglas County, which is 65 miles southwest of her salon, on the other side of Atlanta. Investigators were floored because in addition to the things that I'm telling you right now, Jones knew stuff about Patrice's disappearance, her salon, and the crime scene that police have never released to this day.
Oh, shit.
So
sometimes I think serial killers are like
they have
in
like
a demonic
one
way.
like sync thing on them or something.
Yeah.
So they send out a large team of boats, divers, cadaver dogs, search and rescue personnel to go through this entire Sweetwater Creek that Jones had talked about, starting at that bridge and beyond. And they search for like 3 days and found nothing. They go back to Jones for more questioning to be like, hey, are you remembering a different dump site? Like, we didn't find anything. And he recants his confession of Patrice's murder and those 20 other ones that he confessed to. And just like that, Patrice's case goes cold. It's now December 6, 2005. So
Sorry, also not to go on another tangent here, but that also, it's giving me the vibe of like some sort of cop. Okay, you have to watch A New Criminal Minds to like even understand this, but it's like an online forum, an online thread where like cops are like actually not, okay, there's a select few, I mean, the Smiley Face Killer is believed to be cops. A network of serial killing cops. And so I feel like that, like for so many serial killers to know information about certain cases that aren't released.
And we've done this 100 times.
But never get that like found guilty, but they're like, yeah, I did that one too.
And
it's like
go
they're
in detail.
seeing that information on some sort of dark web forum.
Yes.
Which would inevitably have to be released by an investigator,
killer, yeah.
an officer, or somebody in the police force that has access to that.
To that information. Right?
Hate that.
Which is interesting because this is Forsyth County.
Yeah.
Mustn't we forget.
Right.
So it's now December 6, 2005. It's been 600 days on the dot since Patrice went missing. And this older gentleman named Albert Clark, guys, Albert Clark, my man be talking like this, and that's all I know. Yeah, you know Albert Clark. And he is working on building a fellowship hall for his church that his parents were actually founding members of in 1941, the Lebanon Baptist Church here in Dawson County, but very specifically a very rural and remote area of Dawson County, Georgia. And it was early in the morning. He had been out there for a little bit, and then his buddy stops by to give him a hand, and he brings him a biscuit for breakfast. So the two men go around to the backside of the church and sit on some stairs.
I know that was a Hardee's biscuit.
I know that biscuit was slapping too.
Hardee's or Bojangles.
I would fuck up a Hardee's
sausage
and cheese biscuit with a little bit of mustard and a little bit of jelly.
Okay, I wouldn't do
that's
both
disgusting.
Together, but I would do
both
jelly
together
and or the mustard
are fire together.
or ketchup.
Okay?
I like ketchup on a sausage biscuit too.
I love I wish I liked eggs enough to get eggs on them every time, but sometimes the egg makes me want to vomit.
An egg ruins a sausage biscuit.
It really does. I'm glad it's out there.
It's there.
You
Even
want to put
McGriddle, take your egg off.
Yeah, always. You can't eat it with the egg on it. Like, unless you're really being like, I need to find some health in this.
Like if it's like a restaurant, like fried egg, like I can do
I'll eat that. Yeah. If I got a little bit of a runny egg, I'm gonna eat that shit.
Yeah.
never liked eggs before I had Jackie, so that's insane. Okay, so they're eating their Hardee's biscuits on the back stairs of the church. They're sitting beside each other, just talking like two pappies eating biscuits on the back of a church step do. And they're looking over the back lot of the church. And it was kind of like your backyard. So it was like a long, but like kind of rolling hill. So not as like flat and even as yours, enough for a helicopter.
Parents, right? Not my backyard.
Yeah. I'm talking about your parents.
I'm
talking about Buggy and Belly.
Is there a restaurant behind it?
Yeah, no. So it's like a open field with like rolling hills on the back. And then it backs up to this tree line of like fucking dense ass woods that just goes for miles because like I said, it's just very rural, very remote. Anyway, so they're sitting out there, they're talking, they're not looking at each other, they're eating their biscuits, and they're sitting on the stairs and they're looking at this fucking wood line, and they're both watching the same thing. It's a bunch of buzzards just like fucking swooping down, walking around, going into the woods, coming out of the woods, flying off, coming back, fucking yapping at each other. And like he said, you know, I told my buddy that the second we finish these biscuits, we're gonna walk right down there and we're gonna see what them buzzards about. And I understood what he said. I was like, yep, 100%, my man. So they finish their biscuits. They throw away their trash.
For those that don't know what that is, it's like the black crow birds.
Yeah, like vultures.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I didn't know everyone getting called buzzards.
Like I use context clues, but just in case maybe someone doesn't have vultures in the area to use context clues, that's what they are.
That's a buzzard. So, they're like, all right, so they walk down there and they get into the tree line and they see where the buzzards are like going to. So they walk like a few yards into these dense woods and they find what the birds were freaking out about. It was this dead deer. As two very rural old men building a fellowship hall eating biscuits on the back stairs of a church would do, they're like, what the fuck happened to this deer? So they're trying to figure out what happened to the deer. Was it killed? Did it have a disease? Yeah. Exactly. So they're down there looking at it, and Elbert has his back to the church, but he's standing in front of the deer, and behind the deer, facing the church and facing Elbert, is his little buddy. He's standing there, and he's looking at Elbert, and he says, hey, Elbert, what's that down there by your right foot? So Elbert looks down, and it's a human skull.
Oh, shit.
So they step out of the woods, and they call 911. Dawson County Police, or I guess Dawson County Sheriff's Office, responds to this call. They immediately shut it down. They lock it down and they call Forsyth County because this is only 6 miles away from where Patrice went missing. Forsyth County comes out. They lock it down and take the lead, and they know this is Patrice. They have hundreds of officers out there clearing the leaves from the forest floor, looking for all of the bones to create a full human body, and they found the majority.
Like scattered from like whoever placed her there, or scattered just from like natural and animals?
Scattered because of natural and animals. They're looking for not only bones, but also the potential remnants of a crime scene. The next day, like I said, they have all the bones collected, and they already knew this was Patrice, but they later confirmed it through DNA and dental records. Now, I'm not exactly sure about everything they found, as the majority of records are still sealed to this day and never have been released about, like, no autopsy findings, nothing have been released.
So what year was this that she was found?
2006.
2006.
She went missing 2004.
So about 20 years ago.
Yeah. I'm sorry, 2005, December 6, 2005. I imagine that they must have found something, a lot more than bones, to confirm that this was Patrice before testing, because they knew it was. What stood out to investigators about this specific location, being behind this church and just how remote and rural it was, is whoever did this, knew the area very well, but they couldn't get over one thing. You know how I said that they were looking for the remnants of a potential crime scene? Well, that's because of just how, like, treacherous this area would have been to walk through in the woods. It would have been really hard for someone who was, a man double the size of Patrice to carry or even drag her body to the location that they believe she was left before her skeletal remains were scattered. Therefore, she was likely forced into the woods on foot, like walked in, and then murdered there. Once an autopsy of her remains was performed, again, findings have never been released, her remains were handed over to Rob's funeral home of choice. And to say that his requests were odd would be an understatement. Now, I want to preface this by saying People grieve differently. People grieve very, very differently. We know that, okay? I've had, and me and Morgan have had a very front row seat to a very deep level of grief in these last few months. From a griever, I can say I don't think I'd ever fucking do this, but I don't want to say never, because you never know how you're going to react in a situation like this. But
I'm so terrified for what you're about to say.
Rob still proudly talked about this on national TV. So basically, he asked the funeral home to reassemble her bones, lay them out on a table so that he could, quote, see her in one piece for the last time, end quote. And once this was done, Rob was brought in and left alone in this room that had her remains on a table, skeletal remains, her bones organized in an anatomical and
anatomical position,
like proper way. He is left alone in there for hours, during which he explains he carried her skull around, cradling it in his arms, talking to her before placing her skull back on the table where it goes, kissing her on the forehead and leaving.
I actually have no words.
I literally, that's how
I don't want to be offensive.
I know, but I'm going to be very hurtful if I talk.
Yeah.
Anyways, once her remains were cremated.
It's an interesting choice.
He takes the box of her ashes home. He never puts them in a urn. He keeps them in the sack inside the box, and he sleeps with it every night so much that the box has dents on it, but refuses to give any to Pistol.
Pistol, who has alibi, who's in school, you can't give him.
He said he never wanted to split her up, and he never trusted Pistol to have her. Sorry for that side story that really wasn't too partial to the case, but my opinion could be. I'm going to move on now, but we're going to fast forward to January 5th of 2008. So it has now been almost 4 years since Patrice disappeared, when Gary Michael Hilton was arrested for the brutal, can't understate this enough, murder of a 24-year-old woman, and was quickly discovered to be a serial killer known as the National Forest serial killer, with 4 known murders spanning from October 2007 to January 2008. But there are thought to be a lot more victims that span an even larger time frame. Just like with Jones, if I were to go into all the details that I want to on Hilton, we would be here for 2 additional hours. So I'm going to circle back to his case at a later date, just like I'm going to with Jones. But the reason he was instantly connected to Patrice's case is because of the murder of his last victim before his arrest. That's 24-year-old Meredith Emerson. On New Year's Day, 2008, Meredith decided to go on a hike on the Freeman Trail on Blood Mountain with her black lab retriever, Ella. This is the highest peak on the Georgia section of the Appalachian Trail and the 6th tallest mountain in the state of Georgia, and it sits in Vogel State Park. Several people saw Meredith on the trail, but also noticed a, quote, mysterious older man with his golden retriever following her. After not returning home, her friends reported her missing, and on January 3rd, 2 days after she went missing, investigators found her 1995 Chevy Cavalier in the Byron Herbert Reese parking lot, and inside were various items such as her water bottle, a dog leash, and a police baton. This was the location that a lot of people had last seen that older man hanging around in the day before, in the days and the day of, the days before and the day of Meredith's disappearance. Well, he very quickly was named a person of interest in Meredith's case, and the description of him was blasted out. And it was almost like everyone knew this guy, because instantly tips flooded in being like, oh, it's this guy named Gary Hilton. He was a local drifter known for his creepy behavior and wild temper, who would often walk the trail with his golden retriever, Dandy, who was also known for conning people out of money via calls or just by walking into establishments. And his favorite establishments to rob, in his very own words,
hair salons.
And the next day, Ella, Meredith's black lab, was found wandering around a Kroger parking lot. And on January 5th, investigators located numerous items belonging to Meredith inside of a dumpster near a Quick Trip parking lot just down the road from that Kroger in Cumming, Georgia, where Patrice is from. Inside the dumpster was Meredith's bloodied clothes, wallet, ID, a blood-stained car seatbelt, and her University of Georgia ID card. Wow. 5 hours later, on that same day, Hilton was arrested thanks to 2 anonymous phone calls claiming that he was vacuuming out his van in a local Cumming, Georgia car wash. They would later find Meredith's body in Dawson County, the same county just beside Forsyth, where Patrice's remains were found. And it was determined that Hilton had kept her alive for several days before beating her to death with a tire iron. 24-year-old Meredith. So naturally, when investigators hear about this arrest and Meredith's case, they're like, oh my God, this has to be our guy. He was known for stirring up trouble when he would come into Forsyth County. And when they pulled up his records, they found that he had actually been stopped for a traffic violation the same fucking week that Patrice was abducted and murdered in Forsyth County.
Oh my God.
Investigators were never able to get an alibi from Hilton or be able to prove that he was or was not involved in Patrice's murder. Therefore, he remains a suspect to this day.
Wow.
Patrice's case remains unsolved and is now a cold case. She was just 38 years old when she was abducted and murdered. Police still, to this day, hold several key pieces close to their chest and have refused to release them to the public as these bits of information are considered, quote, guilty knowledge. So it's something that they can help, determine who did this. One thing that they have said is the fact that Patrice's 1.5 carat pear-shaped diamond engagement ring and 2 14-karat gold stacked rings have never been recovered, not even at the scene where her remains were found. If you or anyone you know has any information about the abduction and murder of Patrice Endres from April 15th, 2004, please contact the GBI tip line at 800-597-8477, or you can use the GBI's website or their See Something, Say Something mobile app to provide anonymous tips. And that is the case.
Wish, our diamonds have serial numbers in them, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Not on the diamond, but on my ring. Wait, I gotta check.
I feel like diamonds do. I mean, we wouldn't be able to see it.
I'm sure there's like a marking on. No, they can't, because that would make the diamond imperfect.
No, like I'm like pretty sure like diamonds like do, right?
I have a serial number on the inside of my band.
Let me see.
But I've got nothing on my diamond.
I don't know what that is. It's so dirty. I can't.
I know. I couldn't
tell.
see mine. Mine's so disgustingly dirty.
But like it looks like maybe a 4.
On your diamond?
No, on my band.
Yeah, on your band.
But I thought
I have a 3-digit code on my band.
Marked.
I don't think so, because then they would lose value.
Would they though?
Yeah, because they wouldn't be pure. Like the point of the diamond is like to be the natural cut or whatever. I don't fucking know
right, but like if
diamonds.
it's like has like the tiny microscopic serial number, like I feel like like when you think of like big crown jewelers, like those all have those diamonds in. Well, I guess not.
They don't, because the Louvre.
They fucking break them up.
Yeah,
and you will never know.
Like you can't put. I mean, I guess you could do it like you could only do it on the metal that surrounds it.
Which is crazy. But I feel like for them to like have so much redacted information, that part of me thinks that it's someone closer to her than we know.
Yeah.
And it's just they're waiting for that
that
ball
to drop,
solidify to actually get that person. Because if it was either of those two guys who are known criminals, like why are you keeping that a secret?
Right. I feel it had to be someone like that knows the area.
I feel so sad for her son.
I know, dude. Oh my God. On the Unsolved Mysteries, like they did a really yeah, he's the main like storyteller of it all. Everyone is on there. Rob's on there. He's so combative. He's crazy combative the entire time. He's like, I mean, he just says wild ass shit. Like literally on this fucking interview, he's like, I didn't kill my wife. I literally never would kill my wife. It's still gonna kill my wife. It was gonna be pistol. And then he's sitting there being like, I mean, what they do, get a wheelbarrow to take her body into the woods and dump her.
Oh, no one said anything about that.
No one even brought up a wheelbarrow. But okay.
Also, another thing that maybe you would know, that area where her remains were found, it was like what, just right at the start of the woods?
Yeah, it was like a few hundred, like not even 100 yards in.
Okay, so they were in there. I was wondering if that like church, if they cleared that land.
No, they hadn't cleared it. That was the same, that because that's what they were worried about. So my thought is that wherever they determined that her body was left, because you can do that through like your human decomp, and I'm sure maybe she had they've never said like what like what happened, you know.
I wonder how they knew it was her immediately.
To me, like there had to be like clothes or her phone, because they never bring up her phone ever again, but her phone was missing.
And like the other weird thing to me is like the car, and I guess you're right. The only thing that makes sense is that they would have lured her out there for a jump start.
Yeah.
That's why her front door would be open. She pulls the car around, she jumps out, and then something takes place right then and there before they even pop the hood. However, if I'm jumping a car, I'm sure you as well. Yes. Before I even get out, I'm
because I have to do it from inside. Well, I don't know about that Tahoe. Could you open it from the outside, or was it only inside?
Oh, wait.
Because they didn't have the little lever on the front.
It might have been
a bunch, and then you'd have to prop it up.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. No, I still had to do it from the floor.
From the floor? You unlock it from, that's right. You unlock it from the floor.
Yeah. So like that's weird to me.
Yeah. Well, maybe they had already done it. Maybe she had jumped. Maybe that's why her keys were back inside. But why wouldn't she back the car?
Her keys were in the salon.
They were by her purse on the counter beside her Tupperware. But they would have had to take her back into the salon, though, because
to not rob the salon, but to take jewelry.
Did rob the salon, took all the money in the cash register. They've never announced how much money was in there.
But nothing out of her purse or anything?
No, nothing out of her purse, just from the salon. So it's like robbery was a benefit, but it wasn't the target.
Right.
You know, like that's the only thing that makes sense.
To take her jewelry like that, then you would have known it was worth something.
Right. But what's really odd to me is, her asking, like saying those weird things. Now, granted, those could have just
before
that could have been like her own intuition.
Also, like I feel like I asked random questions like that to Aaron too.
Me
like,
too.
If you could go anywhere, where would you go?
But like also, it's also our job too that I constantly am asking Logan. Like, remember that time that I covered that case about that guy who they were pastors and he had the house was being foreclosed on. His wife didn't know. They were really young in like Wisconsin or something. And he like acted like there was a home intruder and he was walking down her behind the stairs. It was one of the last cases I covered before I had Jackie. The day I was researching that, I went upstairs and I asked Logan, I was like, hey, same layout as our house. Say someone is banging on our front door trying to get in and we're trying to get out the back door of the house and you have a gun and I don't. How are we walking down the stairs and having to pass by the front door?
You know, they're Call of Duty asses. He's walking in front, holding while you get behind, backing up.
And I was like, is there and I asked him like really innocently, I was like, is there any instance that you could imagine me walking in front of you? No, there's like no. He said you wouldn't even come down the fucking stairs. Like I'd be posted up sniper style on the top, you know, Logan, I'd be posted up sniper style on the top of the stairs and I'd have the gun posted down there. He couldn't see me. It's dark up here, and second he steps foot over that threshold, it's over.
Stand your ground legally.
Stand your ground, state legally. But I say all of that to say, like, I know that those are really normal questions to ask, and I never know how, like, the extent that it goes with people. But I found her wording really odd because it wasn't, you know, something ever happened to me. And what would you do? Like, what would happen? And then I feel like if I'm asking my child this, or even if I'm asking my husband, I'm following it up. I'm following it up with.
This is why I'm saying that.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to pee my pants, Morgan. I have to pee so bad. I'm following that up with, oh, that's a really good idea because this is what I would want for you to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm giving my opinion after, because like I have a plan for you inside my head.
I'm laughing so hard because the second that cough came, your eyes glazed. And now you can't.
I got so high the second that I coughed. Like, I didn't even smoke it. Why is the cough getting me?
Eye shift. I'm scared of you.
I went from being totally fine.
It's like the cough activated it.
It is. That's exactly what happened. We always thought that was like just us choking on the fucking smoke. Yeah. No, bitch.
No, I think it was the activator.
It's the activator. You got to cough.
No, I know what you're trying to say.
Does anybody know what I'm trying to say?
I do. I know what you're trying to say. You would, if you were to ask a question so randomly, especially to your child, you're going to probably follow up with, oh, I think I would do this, or like, you're gonna.
I like that plan. You know, what I would want you to do is go live with your dad. I don't have any life insurance, and like, I feel like if she knew something was gonna happen to her, she would have taken out life insurance to take care of Pistol.
Yeah.
So like,
I also feel like if she was, first off, we have to think she's a hairstylist. Mm-hmm. Yep. I know we have tons of you on here. Talk. Fucking certified yappers.
And that's why you're so good at your fucking job.
And that's why
everyone loved Patrice.
And so she's a certified yapper, right? She even has a friend who's also a certified yapper that pit stops. They talk not once but twice a day, in person and on the phone. If there was an inkling, I really, truly, deep in my heart feel like she would have said something.
She definitely, and just would have known, you know, like she's in and out of that salon all the time. Like if something's up, like, you know, I explicitly said in the episode, like they did not find any evidence that she was involved with anything nefarious, because the literal only thing that I could potentially even think of is maybe she was like buying weed off someone. Like, I don't know if she did any drugs. I doubt she did. And if she did, like, no one ever talked about it. But I'm not saying that in like a way of like it's a bad thing. I'm
like
just
to pull the car up. And
right. Like just like the being short on the phone, like maybe this was the day that she was going to pick up something for the first time. Like, I don't think that's the case, but we have to remember that entire morning, Miss Pam, her first client, thought she was fucking mad at her because she's like, I don't know. And then the friend who called, or the client that called to reschedule right before she went missing, said the same thing. I thought she was mad that, you know, I had to reschedule. And granted, Patrice could have been in a fucking bad mood that morning. She could have been like, I don't want to hear Pam shit. I don't want to hear, I know this bitch is going to reschedule the day before and it's going to cost me money. Like, she literally just could have been in that headspace, and it had nothing to do with her being, you know, in trouble or in danger, or like thinking about something that's coming up, meeting someone, whatever the fuck may have you. But that's weird to me, because one thing about a hairstylist, and again, we have so many people on here that are hairstylists, and we have so many friends of ours that are. One thing about them bitches is it's just like when we come on the mic, you turn it on. It's a role that you play, and not that this isn't, you know, like we're not authentic, and it's not like saying that hairstylists aren't authentic. It's your customer service voice.
Right.
You just put a little pep in your step, and you might be distracted, but like the worst that you're gonna do is, instead of sitting there with them and talking when they're processing, you're gonna walk the fuck away and go to your back room.
Yeah.
But like that's where you're gonna do it, and you're gonna sit on your phone.
And usually everyone in the party is grateful, both the client and the hairstylist.
Most of the time, and
you can actually go on your phone without feeling like you volunteering.
Me, the client, very happy.
Yeah,
very pleased with my service that we got here. Not that I don't love talking to my girls, but we've been yapping the whole time that you were putting these foils in, so I'm fine.
I gotta text the husband back. How long is it? How much longer?
I haven't even breathed. I haven't looked at my phone. I caught it the second I walked in that salon. I never shut the fuck up, and you never shut the fuck up. I said, what happened with this guy? What happened to this friend? How was your wedding? I heard you were going out last time. What's going on since then? And then she's turning to me, hey, whatever happened with that gift that you were getting? You know, it goes on, and then you're like, fuck, I need to breathe. But it wasn't like that even from the beginning with Patrice and Pam.
Yeah.
Again, she could have just been having a bad fucking day and didn't want to hear it from Pam.
Yeah.
Not saying anything bad about you, Pam.
Yeah,
but
no,
you know, that's just normal. Everyone gets that. Like, there's some patients that you probably are in an uppity mood and you want to be like, hey, how are you doing? And there's others that are like, I don't know how to talk. So
no, yes, I am like that actually. But I guess it's not very much like patient to patient. It's more like day to day.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
My days I'll be like great customer service, and then other days I'm like, I can't stand
some mornings that you
you
get there and you had a good morning, your coffee from Dunkin' didn't taste like ass. You got it good. What does Phoebe and Lola call it? Trash or gas? Ass or gas. When they go to Dunkin', they're like, is it ass or gas day? And I was like, what? And they're like, is it gas or is it ass? And I was like, oh, it's gas.
It's ass? It's gassy?
I don't know. Like, they said that to me when we were going to the beach. I was like, is that a trend? Or is that
I've never heard that, but that's so fitting for Dunkin'.
It is.
You just never know what you're getting.
Is it ass or gas?
Oh, well, thank you for that. I have a lot to think about and a lot to stumble down Reddit.
Yeah, there's a few posts on Reddit, but you know, I did notice that there wasn't that many. There's just not a lot to work with.
I just know that we're going to see a lot of hot topic on Rob.
Yeah, Rob. And there's a lot on Reddit about Rob. There's literally threads dedicated to fucking his shit up. And I read through all of them, but everyone comes back to the same thing. It's like, he actually really had nothing to gain. Like, if anything, and God forbid, like, I'm not saying this, but like, if he was going to do anything, the only thing that made sense would be that he was going to get rid of Pistol, not Patrice.
Yeah.
He had nothing to gain. However, I did see on Reddit, and I wasn't going to bring this up, I did see on Reddit that just like a few short years, granted, people perceive this timeline very differently between lost and remarried, but he did get remarried. And no one could tell me an exact time frame of the difference, but if it was like a month later, a year later, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Anything beyond that, it's like, again, people grieve differently, and we know that Rob's up to some fuck shit when it comes to grieving.
Rob grieves his own way.
His big G FYP is...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got... Never mind, I'm not going to say that.
Okay, we will let you guys go. So love you so much, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday for TBB. This TBB coming up, we have been dropping hints at for probably the last, since we recorded TBB.
Oh yeah, we've talked about it 10
this
times.
This is my spiral, and we talk a lot about like spiritual journeys, a lot of talking about grief, like a lot of shit. It's a really good TBB. It's one of my favorites. I just edited it actually and uploaded it, and so y'all are gonna really enjoy it. But Patreon, we've talked about this probably every single episode that we talked to you since.
For sure.
Okay, love you guys so much.
Thanks for letting me slack off. Love you guys.
Love you. Don't worry, bitch. I got it handled. Look at that fucking time clock. We gotta go. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.